Good evening. Welcome to this edition of Northeast Diary. Here we bring you the latest developments from India's unexplored Northeast region. Friends, today we will take you to Namchi in Sikkim and learn why it is a tourist hotspot. Another jewel-like city in the Northeast, Imphal, is also home to lush greeneries which are pleasing for the weary traveller. In our city section today, we will talk about Imphal, its history and heritage. Joining the rest of the country, Tripura celebrated the 75th Independence Day with enthusiasm across the state on the 15th of August while maintaining COVID-19 related protocols. A report from our Agartala correspondent, Reena.
The celebration began with the unfurling of the national flag at residential houses, government and semi-government offices, Anganwadi centers, schools, colleges, business centers and cultural organizations, etc. The state-level main program was organized at the Assam Rifles ground in Agartala where Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Dev unfurled the Indian tricolor and took guard of honor from the contingents of BSF, Assam Rifles, CRPF, Tripura State Rifles, Traffic Police, Forest Guards and Home Guards. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Dev said that the state has comprehensive and all-encompassing policies for inclusive development in all sectors. He said creation of earning sources for every family of the state is the priority of the incumbent government. Stressing on the initiatives of the government in the dairy sector and fisheries, the CM said that the state government has planned to introduce mission for commercialization of jackfruit and pineapple for the 3 years from 2022-23 financial year to 2024-25 financial year. He said under the mission, a total of 3,600 hectares of land will be brought under jackfruit and pineapple cultivation, as well as the mission will have a facility for integrated marketing of the products. On the occasion, the Chief Minister also presented medals to the Home Guards personnel, NCC cadets and the Forest Guard personnel for their dedicated and outstanding performance in their services. For Northeast Diary, this is Reena Nomaitem from Agartala.
Nagaland government has launched the Nagaland Sustainable Development Goal SDG Vision 2030 and District SDG Localization and Integration Manual. Our Kohima correspondent gives us the details.
Chief Minister Nupirio officially launched the Nagaland SDG Vision 2030 in the state capital Kohima on August 17th, while Planning and Coordination Minister Niba Kronu launched the District SDG Localizations and Integration Manual. Speaking at the launch program, Chief Minister Nupirio said,
the 17 goals and the 169 targets for sustainable development documented in the Nagaland SDG Vision 2030 are aligned to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, a universal call action to end poverty, protect the planet and to ensure that everyone enjoys peace and prosperity. In this direction, the Nagaland SDG Vision document provides us with state-specific short, medium and long-term targets with measurable indicators and strategies that the state should focus on to meet the inspiration of the people for sustainable livelihood and living standards.
In the SDG Performance Index, Nagaland is ranked 19 in the country with a score of 61, and among Northeast, it is in 5th position. This is Asunyo from AIR News, Kohima for Northeast Diary.
Despite incessant rain, the spirit of young enthusiasts could not be dampened as they took part in the Fit India Freedom Run 2.0. a day ahead of the 75th Independence Day. The Fit India Freedom Run is a nationwide campaign to celebrate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Here is more from our Shillong correspondent.
As the Fit India Freedom Run 2.0 was launched by Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur from Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi, Meghalaya joined the movement. In the state, NSS officer F. Rumnong said that various programs are planned to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The idea of organizing such events is to instill a sense of sportsmanship and healthiness to the youth. From the state NSS, we are going to conduct many programs in other districts, he added. The nationwide campaign, which was kicked off last week, will conclude on October 2nd, marking the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, and will witness a series of programs in both urban and rural areas. State Director of Nehru Yuva Sangatham, Atul Nigam, giving credit to the Prime Minister and Youth and Sports Affairs Minister for organizing such a creative program, said,
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव ये कार्यक्रम बहुत ही अनोखा कार्यक्रम है। भारत देश के प्रधानमंत्री सम्माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी, इनका सपना है कि सभी शहीदों को हम इस कार्यक्रम के जरिए अभिवादन करना चाहते हैं। इसलिए आज हमने ये यहाँ पर फ्रीडम रन रखा है। आज सवेरे से यहाँ बारिश हो रही है, फिर भी आप देखिए युवाओं का जज्बा। यहाँ के जिलाधीश महोदया लालू मैडम, उन्होंने खाली 20 युवाओं की एक फ्रीडम रन, ये सिंबॉलिक रन यहाँ पे किया है। और इसी तरह से हम 75 विलेजेस में इस खासी हिल से हम करने वाले हैं। और इस कार्यक्रम में राष्ट्रीय सेवा योजना, नेहरू युवा केंद्र संगठन और सभी युवाओं के संगठन का यहाँ हमें सहयोग मिल रहा है।
The run was flagged off from the fire brigade ground with limited participants due to COVID-19 protocols, which culminated at Malki ground. In other parts of the state, different organizations and state departments are conducting a number of programs ranging from cyclothon, webinar, talk shows, besides other. This is Rustam for North East Diary from AIR News, Shillong.
Every year around Independence Day, our countrymen are infused with patriotic fervor. All of us get goosebumps with the rendition of the national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. But this time, it has become even more special. A sweet little girl from Mizoram has created a new sensation and caught the attention of the world on social media by her sweetest rendering of Jana Gana Mana. Let us hear a detailed report from our Aizawl correspondent.
As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to celebrate 75 years of independence, Assam Rifles posted in Lunglei district has recently released a video version of the national anthem sung by 5-year-old Esther Namte. In the video, scenes of parade, hoisting of national flag, army's movement and duty to protect the sovereignty of the nation is portrayed in tune with Jana Gana Mana. The little sensation Esther Namte is seen parading with Assam Rifle troops and saluting to the national flag while singing Jana Gana Mana. With her sweet voice, 5-year-old Esther has mesmerized the viewers on social media. This video has been put on YouTube channel by the Indian Army and it has viewers of more than 16 lakh. Officials from Assam Rifles said the video will surely promote Prime Minister's Act East policy and send a strong message of peace and harmony to the entire nation. The video also depicts the role of security forces and how it has changed the environment in northeast India. Last year, Little Esther of Lunglei district received praise from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and music maestro A.R. Rahman for her unique rendition of Maa Tujhe Salam, Vande Mataram. For Northeast Diary, this is Irene from Aizawl.
Namchi in South Sikkim district is the district headquarter and one of the emerging smart cities in the country. The town and its surrounding areas are home to a mix of Sikkimese Bhutia, Lepcha and Nepali communities. It also hosts several pilgrimage sites, which makes the town a tourist hotspot. Our Sikkim correspondent takes us through Namchi.
South Sikkim's Namchi has come a long way from being a small town to become a business and tourist hub to transform into a smart city in the Himalayas. In Sikkimese, Namchi means sky high. District Collector of South Sikkim, M. Varani Kumar, speaks about Namchi's significance.
Namchi is the headquarters of South Sikkim district and is one of the emerging smart cities of the country. Namchi and its surrounding areas has a diverse population of Bhutia, Lepcha and Nepali community. It is the second major town in the state after the capital city, Gangtok. From a quaint little town decades back, Namchi has come a long way and has emerged into a major tourism spot today with places like Chardham and Solapok, which is miniature of all four sacred Hindu pilgrimage sites in one place, Samdripsi, which has the world's largest statue of Guru Padmasambhava or Guru Rinpoche, regarded as the patron saint of Sikkim. Located around 78 kilometers from the capital city of Gangtok, Namchi is famous for Buddhist monasteries and scenic locales. Namchi witnesses celebration of major festivals of all religions, and in addition to them, it has its unique festival which is celebrated annually with much fervor, the festival of Savane Sankranti, also called as Ranke Mela, which is celebrated with involvement of people from all faith, castes and creed. Namchi Mahotsav is another festival observed in Namchi with the motive of promoting and showcasing the rich culture, vibrant traditions and culinary delights of various indigenous communities of the state. This festival is celebrated to encourage ecotourism philosophy in Sikkim. Namchi is the hometown of the three-time Olympian archer, Mr. Tarundeep Rai. The town houses the stadium named after Bhaichung Bhutia, who is a renowned soccer star of the country. It is the town where the Swatantrata Senani Helen Lepcha was also born.
Namchi also has a rich tradition of sports and historical significance. With Saikat Sarkar, this is Namo Dikshit for Northeast Diary, AIR News, Sikkim.
Today we bring to you an interview with Dr. Rita Chaudhary. Dr. Rita Chaudhary is an Indian poet, novelist and Sahitya Akademi Award recipient in the world of Assamese literature. She has been an associate professor in Cotton College, Guwahati, Assam, in Political Science Department since 2001. She is the former director of the National Book Trust of India. Talking to her is Sharmila Goswami.
Dr. Chaudhary, I extend a very warm welcome to you in our show, Northeast Diary. As you said earlier in an interview, that you became a writer by accident after winning the Assam Sahitya Sabha competition as a student activist. Tell us more about this.
It is really an accident that I wrote a novel. Before that, I did not write any prose, a short story or whatever. But during Assam movement, when I was absconding, I came to know about competition organized by Assam Sahitya Sabha. Manuscript of novel, the theme was Assam movement. So as I was a part of the Assam movement, so I thought I should write. And I started writing, but it was a very difficult time and I had to avoid the police raid and arrest. During that period I wrote the novel and sent it to Assam Sahitya Sabha. After that I was arrested and I was put in Dibrugarh jail. The result was announced and I got the first prize. That is the beginning.
How was the feeling?
See, I was in jail. I didn't think much about the award. I thought that now I have something more added to my identity. People will not only know me as an activist of the Assam movement, but also as a writer.
So then, when did serious writing start?
I had two purposes in my life. One is to support my family, which suffered a lot for my participation in the struggle. And secondly, to serve my community as a participant of the movement. Writing, it was not my priority that time. I wrote few stories, short stories, because newspapers started, requesting me to write. So I wrote a few things, but not that seriously, because it was a different time of struggle. Then I got married, and my co-activist became a minister. And
your husband?
Yes.
He was also an activist.
He was a general secretary of AJYCP, a youth organization. He was a leader. He became a minister, and I married to a minister. Actually, this is the only identity I had that time, wife of a minister, because the activism was the past. The politics is different. Movement is different.
The Assam Sahitya Sabha Competition Prize.
Yes.
You won in 1981.
Yes.
And then there was this gap of 10 years.
Almost 10 years, because I could not devote, I could not concentrate, could not focus. It was really a very challenging period for me. Then I realized I have a power with me. That is my pen. And to write, I don't have to depend on anybody. And my pen cannot be controlled. And again I started writing, but slowly I earned control over the craft to write. I was barren for 9 years. My daughter was born in 95, and it was actually the beginning of creativity. I had a purpose. My daughter, I have to do something so that I can guide her. At the same time, I can show her a real way to live a real life, a good life. From 1999, it was a continuous journey, writing. Then my son was born, but parallelly now I become a multitasker. My only work was to look after my children, to write, to earn, and to build my own identity. I did my PhD, wrote many novels. So slowly again people started accepting me. Slowly I became again popular as a novelist.
You received the Sahitya Academy Award for your book Dio Lanqui. The protagonist of the book, a woman, is a very strong character. I want to know, while you were growing up, did you experience personally or socially the plight and deprivation of the women of Assam and the Northeast in general? What is the position of women in the society of the Northeast?
I was born in Arunachal. I have seen the tribal societies, the Arunachali societies, of Adis and Tagins and Galongs. Then I went to another hilly area called Haflang in Assam, it's a North Kazar district. There I saw two different societies. One is the local tribals, and another is a very close society of officers in the SSB training center, where I saw my father giving training to the Mukti Bahini people in the Bangladesh war. Then I came to Margherita, that's Upper Assam. Now I have actually entered into the Assamese society. Then came the Assam movement. So I had a greater experience of Greater Assamese society as a composite identity. We have many ethnic tribes. There is the so-called Aryan and non-Aryan streams, mixing of two streams. People migrated to Assam from east, China side, from Burma side, and Bengal side, UP and Bihar. It is a multi-ethnic, multicultural society. Assamese language. This trade used mainly to communicate politically or socially. And another trade is the Indian culture, like especially Mahabharata. We have characters like Hirimba, Bhagadatta, Narakasura. And we have cultural connections like in Manipur, Ulupi and Chitrangada was wife of Arjuna. Hirimba was wife of Bhima. So Bhagadatta was king of Kamrup. He took part in the Kurukshetra war. Krishna married Rukmini from Assam. Krishna's grandson married the princess of King Bana. So there are two different types of position of women. One is a tribal society where women are more empowered, more free, and in this Aryan kind of society there was patriarchy. Patriarchy was there everywhere. So when I wrote Devlankhui, my main focus was the peaceful coexistence of different tribes and how to live peacefully through negotiation, through understanding, through friendship, leaving aside all our conflicts. Position of women, if we compare with the other parts of India, we are in a better position.
In the Northeast?
Yes. So if you read my books, you can find this patriarchy in my novels. And always I try to find a way how to empower ourselves or how to survive within this environment, or when the patriarchal system tries to kill you, restore your identity, uproot you from one identity to another, how to survive, how to be yourself.
You have talked about the empowerment of women.
Yes.
And you have also said that the empowerment of women comes from one thing, and that is self-respect. How can one develop self-respect if one is lacking in that area?
First, you have to understand what is self-respect. If I respect myself, I'll protect my identity. I will not do those things which may weaken my own position, my identity, my strength. So it begins from self-respect, and I don't talk about womanhood. I talk about humanity. I'm a human being. I don't treat myself as a woman. I am a person. My identity is as a whole, my entire body and soul, with my own philosophy, my way of life. So how to protect that me from destructive forces of the society and the patriarchy? So for every person, not only the woman, man also, you are not limited to a sexual identity. You are a human being. You are a complete person. So you live and evolve fully as a human being. I was writing and I was evolving also. I was trying to correct myself, improve myself, add more strength to my existence. One is my own empowerment, and through my writing to send some ideas about humanity, life, identity, about self-respect, empowerment.
Your internationally acclaimed book, Maqam, highlights the plight of the Indian Chinese people living in North Assam in the year 1962. Would you please elaborate on this?
When tea was explored in Assam, British people started tea industry in Assam, and they brought the Chinese indentured laborers to work in the tea gardens of Assam. And they were indentured laborers. They did not bring their family with them. So they married local maidens and settled and established a new society, which we call Assamese Chinese. They had their own dialect. There's a mixing of Hindustani, Assamia, and the different languages of the indentured laborers from Orissa, from different parts of India. So they have their own dialect, own culture. They maintain their clan identity, their Chinese name. So they have a different identity. But when in 1962 Indian War, the people of Assam, the Indian Chinese living in different China towns, or which we call Chinapatti, small China towns in different parts of Assam, mainly in adjacent areas of the tea gardens. Suddenly, in the last day of the war, they were arrested. They were told that you are not safe here because people are very angry. We are shifting you to a safer place for a few days. And most of them were put in a closed train and sent to Deoli, Rajasthan. There is a big internment camp. And from that internment camp, many of them were sent back to China after almost 150 years. It was suffering and suffering. So in China also they were treated as outsiders. So China was a communist country and they came from a capitalist one. So it was a difficult time. So I tried to cover everything in this novel. I went to Hong Kong and China, met those internees, deportees, people living in different parts of the world.
You also made a documentary on this.
Yes. I tried to write. It became a mission for me because I have seen the real pain of, uprooting from your own soil, your own motherland. They cannot uproot their soul from India. So I wanted to tell this, that they are not Chinese, they are our own people.
As you have said earlier, you are a socially committed writer. What are the social issues close to your heart that you would like to write about?
My journey began as a nationalist. With time, we mature. There is a change in our perspective. Then there is a shift from nationalism. Still, I am a proud Assamese. I'm a proud Northeasterner. I'm a proud Indian. But finally, I am a human being. I'm a humanist. So this is a big transformation of my life. So as a humanist, I want to write in such a way that when people read my book, they at least get some encouragement to live, to go on living in true sense, they get strength, they get courage. I'm very much concerned about mental position of the new generation people especially, and I also write for them. I take up many issues of society like terrorism, mainly love, humanity, nature, friendship, the basics of life which give you the strength or the proper environment to live and to bloom to the fullest.
So beautifully said.
The main purpose is to give voice to the voiceless.
Dr. Chaudhary, it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for coming to our studio, giving us your valuable time and sharing your inspiring thoughts with us.
Thank you.
And now let us endeavour to know more about the special places that are nestled in the cozy corners of India's northeast. Today, we are heading to Manipur's scenic capital city, Imphal. Manipur is a land of many tribes, and Imphal is the cultural capital of the state. What makes this city so arresting? Let us hear from our correspondent.
Situated at the extreme northeast corner of India, Imphal city of Manipur state is one of the beautiful cities of the country. Known as the Switzerland of India and described as Jewel of India by former Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, this mesmerizing state is surrounded by Nagaland in the north, Mizoram in the south and Assam in the west, and shares a common international border with Myanmar in the east. Mostly occupied by the hill areas, the little valley area of Manipur is known as Imphal Valley, which acts as the heart of the Manipur state. The Imphal city represents the unified culture and social aspects of more than 33 different tribal people in Manipur. The Huairamband Kaithal or Ima Kaithal women market is the only women market in the world where not a single man vendor is shown in the market, which existed from time immemorial. Just in front of this market lies the Kangla Palace, just within a foot walk distance, which is regarded as the seat of the former kingdom of Manipur and sacred place for Meitei community of Manipur. The palace tells the history of Manipuri, how they retained the freedom of the kingdom from external forces till Anglo-Manipur War 1891. During the World War II, Imphal was a decisive battle for British and Japan, which later the British triumphed, beginning the era of its success in the war. Both the countries installed the memorial sites remembering the sacrifices in the war. The British have Imphal War Cemetery, which has 1,600 Commonwealth burials of the Second World War, and Japan War Memorial Complex at Maibam Lokpaching. Tourists across the world never miss these two sites whenever they visit Manipur. Moreover, the Shaheed Minar in Imphal tells the younger generation how their forefathers fought against British for their sovereignty. The Mapal Kangjebung polo ground of Imphal reminds everyone that polo was first originated from Manipur. And also, do not miss the Loktak Lake if you come to visit Imphal, which is the biggest freshwater lake in northeast India and its nearby INA Memorial Museum. Manipuris have a distinct style of clothing based on comfort and functionality. However, the hand-woven paneks are commonly worn by women in most of the tribes while men wear shirt and trousers. By accessing the dress patterns, one can easily identify which tribe the person belongs to and what purpose they are going for. Boiled rice and few side dishes of vegetables, fish and meat are staple food in Manipur. Dried or fried fish and chili paste are everyday items in lunch and dinner in the state. The base and essence of Manipuri cuisine is the fermented fish called nari, and without it, Manipuri food would not be as tasty. To taste the delicious cuisine of Manipur, anyone can visit the hotels in Imphal, especially Imoinu Kitchen, located at the heart of Imphal. Manipur was merged with India on 15th October 1949. Earlier, it was a princely state. The Kangla Shah is the emblem of Manipur, while the Sangai, the brow-antlered deer, found only in Manipur, is the state animal. Manipuri is the official language of Manipur, while most of the people can speak Hindi as well as English. With the report of J.J. Thokcham, Suparna Saikya for Northeast Diaries.
With that, we have come to an end of this edition of Northeast Diary. Do join us next week to hear more stories from this enchanting part of India. Bye-bye.